The giants mentioned in Genesis, most notably in Genesis 6:1 through 4, are among the most cryptic and haunting figures in the Bible. These beings, referred to as the Nephilim, appear suddenly in the narrative and just as quickly vanish, sparking millennia of speculation. But did they truly disappear? Genesis 6:1 through 4. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Then Yahuwah said, "My spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortal, their days will be 120 years." The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. The Nephilim are introduced just before the narrative of the flood. The term is often translated as giants, but the root word NPL in Hebrew means to fall, leading many to translate Nephilim as the fallen ones. Who were these beings? The sons of divine beings or human lineage. One key to understanding the Nephilim lies in identifying the sons of God. Jewish texts before the 2nd century CE overwhelmingly interpret the sons of God as divine or angelic beings who rebelled. They descended to earth, lusted after human women, and fathered hybrid offspring, the Nephilim. First, Enoch 7:2-5. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. By the time of Augustine and later church fathers, this view was rejected. Augustine reinterpreted the sons of God as the godly lineage of Seth intermarrying with the wicked line of Cain, a move likely motivated by the desire to distance Christianity from Jewish mythologies and to create a more allegorical, moral reading of Scripture. Could the Church have deliberately buried this theology to align better with Greco-Roman rationalism and distance itself from superstition? The flood, a cosmic reset. Immediately after the Nephilim appear in Genesis, Yahuwah announces his judgment. The flood. Yahuwah saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become, and he regretted that he had made human beings. Genesis 6:5-6. This timing suggests that the actions of the Nephilim and their fathers may have triggered divine judgment. The flood was not just a cleansing of humanity's sin, but possibly a cosmic containment strategy for a hybrid corruption that threatened the very image of Yahuwah in mankind. Did the Nephilim return afterward? Curiously, Genesis 6:4 says, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward." This clause haunts the careful reader. Afterward, after the flood, the giants of Canaan, the Anakim, Rephaim, and Emim. Numbers 13:33. We saw the Nephilim there. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes. Despite the flood, giants still roam. Are these survivors recreations? The biblical text doesn't explain, but suggests the presence of something abnormal, even terrifying in the land. Post-flood remnants. Deuteronomy 3:11. Og, king of Bashan, was the last of the Rephaim. His bed was made of iron and was more than 9 cubits long. Joshua 11:21-22. Joshua destroys the Anakim from Hebron and other cities, but none were left in Israelite territory. Only in Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod did any survive. 1 Samuel 17:4. Goliath of Gath, described as a giant over 9 feet tall. Did the giants continue in diminished form, gradually fading into myth, or were they strategically wiped out under divine command? Why did they disappear from mainstream Christianity? Several forces conspired to erase or marginalize the giants. 1. Theological sanitization. Early church leaders wanted a rational moral religion that would appeal to Rome's educated classes. Stories of angelic rebels and hybrid giants were too fantastical and pagan-sounding. Second, textual translation. Bias. The Septuagint translates Nephilim as gigantes, a term with Greco-Roman mythological baggage, possibly muddying the concept. Later English Bibles followed suit, often replacing Nephilim with giants, downplaying their supernatural origin. Third, canon. Suppression. Books like Enoch, which elaborate on the fall of the Watchers and the origin of giants, were excluded from the Western canon, but remained in Ethiopian tradition. If these texts were once widely read by early Jews and Christians, what else has been lost or hidden by theological gatekeeping? What if the Nephilim were not just giants, but symbols of spiritual corruption? What does their presence before and after the flood say about the permeability between heaven and earth? Is their removal a sanitization of a deeper war between the divine and anti-divine realms? Do echoes of the Nephilim survive today in myths, demons, or unexplained ancient architecture? What else lies buried beneath centuries of translation, suppression, and reinterpretation? Don't just read Search. Don't just watch Wonder. The truth isn't always on the surface. Sometimes it's buried deep. Stay curious. If you like this content, please like, subscribe, and comment below.